there, how are you doing? It's good to have you join us today on the Medley Show. I hope you're having a great day. Well, if you were not, this is me bringing you some goodness. This is me trying to put a smile on your face for the next 1 hour. And of course, today we'll be talking about something very, very interesting. Something, of course, that gladdens my heart. Movies, yes. It feels like you have to put movies, like my second name, in between my name, like Tochi movies, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's how much I love movies. But today we'll be talking about how best do you enjoy your movies? Cinemas or OTT platforms? Like, it feels like a war of the platforms today, you know. So we'll be talking about which one best appeals to you. Would you rather be, you know, the cinema appeal, like big room, dark room, you know, big sound, big screen, and the whole thing is hitting you from all angles. Is that the way you like to enjoy your movies, or are you the type that likes to do Netflix and chill, you know, just in your house? You can watch it on your phone, quite private, or maybe on your TV, you know. How do you best like to enjoy your movies? That's what we're going to be talking about today. And of course, I have exciting guests in the studio who are also going to be giving us their inputs, why which is better than which, what they think you should do. And there are also very interesting lined up features that will also throw some light to the show. And if you're ready, I am. Let's get right into it. Just joined us on the Medley Show. You're right on time for a good time. And like I said earlier, we're talking cinemas versus OTT platforms. There's platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, and all the likes. You know, every platform that you go online to find movies to watch. I did promise you that I would have great guests in the studio. So I know Abuja people, you guys like Halita, right? Yeah, I know my Halita people. And you also, if you saw Sons of the Caliphate, did you? I love that too. And if you're also watching the Rishantis, are you getting where I'm going to with this? Yes. I am trying to tell you that I have the award-winning producer-director in the studio. I'm talking about Dimbo Atia. The producer should have given me drum rolls. I mean, it's Dimbo that is in the studio. I'm not hearing it. I'm just seeing your hand move. I'm not hearing it. Dimbo, it's good to have you in the studio.
See, so this has become home. Like,
yes!
I just said, if anytime they call me, I'll just stand up like a zombie and
you're just coming home. I mean,
it's NTA is home, so I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. We're always happy to have you.
Thank you.
So we're talking, you already heard now, we're talking cinemas versus them Netflix and the rest. Yeah. So I'm going to start with the regular, which does it for you? How do you enjoy your movies best?
If you go to my living room right now, I have a blanket. My couch is designed for me to sink in.
Right.
And I have a 120-inch mini cinema in my living room. And this is, I'm not boasting. I'm just trying to tell you, the idea that I come back, I shower, I slump into pull my blanket and just watch a movie. As a matter of fact, the sound system I have in my house, my neighbors will write a note or send me a message and say, please, can you reduce the volume? Can you turn
it down?
That's how much comfort I have created for myself, because to be honest, it is easier, it's cheaper, it's better for me to just stay home and watch the streaming platforms. Why? Because it costs me about 4,000 naira a month to have access to unlimited. So let's say if I have 2 platforms, that's 6,000 naira. That's one movie in a cinema. And I'm not bashing cinemas. The reason why
feels like no, Tim, I'm not going to allow you to continue. I'm not going to allow you.
No, but I'm giving you the reason why it works for me.
How can you even say that?
No, so I'm just saying that
you make movies for the cinema.
I know, I'm going somewhere with this.
And the fact that you're even trying to create a cinema effect.
I am going somewhere with
this. The fact that you're trying to create. Oh, yeah,
so let me explain why this is. No, so you see where I'm going with this. So it's 6,000 or almost 7,000 naira for the platform, 2 of them, where I have access to unlimited films in the comfort of my house. I am not in any way driving anywhere with fuel that I don't have, or, you know, pretty much. You
had to bring fuel into this.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to tell you how everybody is thinking these days, because it's easier to be at home, and then you can eat whatever you want while you're doing this thing. But you see, there is something about a cinema. As much as I agree that the experience can be bigger and better.
Thank you.
I know, I get that. I give it that, because there's nothing like something like 500-inch screen and a surround sound that is tailored to make you shake. That is something that I would love to watch. I promise you, I'll go there to see a Mission Impossible, because of the way it will come
Yeah.
out. But the problem is that cinemas are gradually taking the back burner, because beyond just going to the cinema to watch a movie, have you noticed that all cinemas are actually placed in malls? Because the idea is that you're supposed to be, you shop as well. So if I want to watch a movie, I go there and then I do other things. But imagine where I go and I can't do other things and it's just me driving all the way to go and watch a movie. That is something that has discouraged a lot of people. But the movie has survived years and years of inventions, new innovations that are coming for experience in watching films. No matter how, at a point we thought that DVDs and CDs were going to make the cinemas are still there. This streaming platform, with all the battle that is going on between all of them.
So you're saying that people would rather have the cinema experience, but for the economic situation, they will just still...
Oh, absolutely. I think.
But it's not everybody that can create that
but it's not the
experience.
economic situation, no, so that they won't say we're bashing. No. The problem also is
because
that...
I'm wondering where you're going with this, because I know you have films in the cinema as well.
The problem also is that we are not producing the movies that are worth me driving all the way to go and pay money to watch. Most of I'm talking about Nollywood now.
Right.
All the movies that you go to the cinema, the experience is not really what I really want to spend money to go and watch. So I'll wait for it to get on the platforms. That's what I'm saying.
You had a movie in the cinema.
Yes.
You had Still Falling.
Yes, Still Falling. This was immediately after the pandemic. It was a faith-based film, and people just missed the idea of going to places. So it worked for us at that time, because everybody was just rushing to gain back the experience after almost 2 years of hiding and not going to cinemas and everything. So the moment we were allowed to do that, people were rushing to go see. That worked for us, But the truth is that it's getting to a place, and at this point, most of the streaming services weren't strong. Amazon was not here yet. It was just Netflix that was around, and Showmax wasn't this big, So at the end of the day, now that you have options. There are 3 of them that are providing you with content. You rather say to yourself, I'd rather stay home. And sometimes it's even cozier, so to say, because...
I feel like you've taken your pick.
No,
but
of course.
Somehow, I don't entirely agree with you.
Okay.
Because I would say, from what you're saying, even though you say that's not what you're saying, what I'm still hearing is that money is the only reason why people... Because, wait, let's do the math, yeah? Showmax subscription, you have as low as, I don't know, well, it's... all of them, Showmax, Netflix, Amazon, they all have like under 3K, 4K. Like, this is not commercial, but I'm trying to put it out there. Then I go to the cinema to see one movie, and I'm spending about 6,000 there.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing just one movie.
Exactly.
I'm still going to buy food. I probably will shop something else.
But you see, the problem is that you could watch one movie and the experience is mind-blowing. But then the problem also is that you could spend that money to watch one movie and then
But I'll probably do a research before I go see the one movie.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. So a lot of the reason why people don't want to go, because in their mind they're thinking, what am I even going to go and watch in this cinema that I won't wait for to get on the platform? It's a conversation that people say every day.
There is the feeling of seeing it like when it just came out.
I can promise you that people,
and then
your sound bar alone.
Let me paint you a picture, yeah? If I'm in my house, I'm probably just watching it alone. And I'm the kind of person that if I'm seeing a movie, I don't want you asking me questions, right? I'm just sitting there. I'm watching it alone. Okay, maybe I have friends around. And the movie is done, and we're just talking about it. But hold up. But wait.
There's just one thing
I'm sitting in the cinema. Wait, let me finish. I'm sitting in the cinema, yeah? And I have like 20, 30 people around me.
We are chit-chatting.
And we are watching like this, let me say, a Mission Impossible or a Waka.
You're trying hard to say this is not watching. The most annoying thing is to have one small Gen Z couple at the back making noise.
Oh, hold Lord, on, that's you had to go there.
No, hold on, that's one. Or we probably have one over Sabi, DC, Marvel person talking, trying to make you feel like he knows this universe. That's your business. You understand? The best thing, let me end this conversation if we have to. The best argument is the fact that I can pause this movie and go and ease myself and come back and sit down and continue. You can't do that in a cinema.
But you're not winning this argument. You're not winning. See, the cinema
It's as simple as that. So that alone is enough for me, because if I have to go ease myself while I was watching the cinema, by the time I come back, I probably will have missed almost 3-4 minutes of this film. I just imagine maybe that is where
to prove to you that the cinema experience.
Don't get me wrong.
I bet why won't you go and pee before going into the cinema?
Cinemas will always be here. Nothing is going to touch the cinema experience. They will always be here. They always weather the storm. Okay. The problem is that they need to also be innovative. There must be something that is pulling people to come to the cinemas, and that's something that they must look into. So it has to be, first of all, them insisting, especially with Nollywood, insisting that the quality of the production that we put out
not just for the money, right?
Because I mean, it's I want to leave my house, drive all the way,
and it has to be worth my while.
Buy popcorn, buy corn that people hit and pop it, sit down. It has to be worth my while.
Dimbo.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get back to that conversation, right? Okay, so before we continue with Dimbo in the studio, let's go to the streets. And I told you it's like a war today. So let's find out their peak from the street. We had a conversation with a couple of people on the streets, and this is what they chose. Watch this.
Meanwhile, coming to the cinema, the drive alone from your house to the cinema, it's relaxing. Then coming in, quite alright, you said there are noise and everything from people. Fine and good, yeah. But it's a different experience compared to what you have at home. Do you get what I mean? It is, it's a different experience. Like, you get to meet people, different characters in the cinema. For instance, when there's a new movie, because I wasn't here in Nigeria for a while, I was like outside. So whenever I go to the movie outside there, it's very fun. Like, people, the way they behave, they shout when the scene is coming up or something like that. It's nice. It's quite refreshing. So yeah, that's why.
Saved me time and the stress of coming out from my home, my comfort zone, to the other side. I'd rather stay in my home or at my own comfort zone and watch it on my phone.
Because most of the times in the seminar it's more fun. Than to watch it at home or alone. It will be boring and like that, yes.
Well, I prefer streaming. I don't have much time to go into the cinema, or I think what I do, I can get it from my phone. So, to me, it's better that way.
I like the cinema because it's very interesting. When you go there, you meet a lot of people and you share your ideas together when watching a movie there in cinema.
I prefer streaming because maybe I would want to watch at my own convenient time. And cinema would just have to be like you're going to watch maybe at a particular time.
Personally, I think I prefer streaming because it saves time. Yeah, and you know, I get to watch my movies in the comfort of my home and all of that.
It gives you, it's in a wider screen, and then it gives you time to interact with your friends that you have not seen in a long time. So you get to come together, just arrange an outing, pick a movie, and then just enjoy yourself.
Welcome back, and this is still the Medley Show. Those were comments from the streets. So whatever you choose, it's up to you. However you choose to enjoy your movies, I mean, just have a good experience. So remember that you can join the conversation by sending us messages only. Please no calls, 0811 778 2020. The number should be on your screen any moment. And while we were on that break, we were joined by a movie enthusiast in the studio. Kachi, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Dimbo, Kachi, Dimbo.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you too.
Anyway, Kachi, so I'm going to start with the obvious question as well. Which is it for you? Please, don't look that way. Don't look that way. Dimbo, don't look that way. Kachi, look at me.
And I can't be on the fence. I'm not allowed to be on the fence.
Because I told you it's a word today.
Because the truth is we all kind of have to be on the fence. But if I have to lean one way more, it's streaming.
Oh, no.
It's streaming.
So it's official, guys. I stand alone today. Like there's a divide.
Yep.
I stand alone today. Oh, yeah, tell me why.
For instance, just having your Netflix library curated for you. Do you know how possessive people are about their Netflix algorithm? even if you have my Netflix password, if you log into my account, I'm like, please create your own accounts. You can use my password, but have your own accounts, because you're not going to come in there and disrupt months of an experience that is just curated for me. I come in, Netflix already knows, oh, we'll recommend something based on, you know, how many months I've been subscribed. They already know what I've been watching. So that experience just makes you feel like you're getting the most out of your experience. And even just
for just 3,000 naira or less.
Exactly, you know.
I don't want to get you guys to win me over. I mean, I have accounts on streaming platforms, so don't get me wrong. I do Netflix, I do, you know, all of that. But I don't know why you guys are not helping me to project the cinema experience. See, whether the movie is worth it or not, there's something that whole room does to me. Like, there's a way I enjoy, and you know, the fact that you are watching the movie in your house and you're also trying to create that experience. I mean, turn off the lights, you have a big screen, you get a blanket, you make the sound really loud. Scream cinema to me.
But I mean, but then the idea is that
it's cheaper. You should just want cheap cinema.
You know, so.
Well, yeah, people should reduce the price now.
But I'm glad you also said the cinema experience depends on if the movie is worth it or not.
Exactly.
Because the level of anger I will feel when I watch a Netflix movie at home and at the end I'm like, this movie wasn't really worth the time. Then if I paid, went out, dressed up, went to see the movie in cinema, and the movie is terrible. So it's really like, you can't beat that communal experience of, you know, dressing up with your friends, going to see a movie, but you have to know the movie is good. In fact, before I go to cinema, I've waited for reviews. You might not catch me the opening weekend. I've waited for reviews. Then I'm like, okay, is it worth the time? Let's go. But if you're just streaming,
and to be honest with you, even these days, most films that come out in cinemas, in another 2 days, they are on all those websites that people are hacking to watch. So at the end of the day, it's still, instead of going to and watch a Mission Impossible in the cinema, I'd rather wait for all these hackers. It is. I don't do it. I don't go there, but I'm saying that's where people get the experience these days. Like, nobody has to wait for another 2 months for you to get on the streaming platform. It's already there, you know. So gradually, to be honest with you, there's something about the cinema culture that is in Nigeria, to be specific. There's something about the culture, because if they're going to have to improve that, then they're going to go beyond just curating things for themselves or they need to have to work with the fact that I need to walk into a mall and there's an experience that I want to experience in the entire setup. So I don't just come, spend 6,000 naira or it's 12,000 naira for a private sitting in one of the cinemas.
We don't want private.
No, sometimes, like I said, you want to avoid all those Gen Z people sitting behind you and having conversations. So you pay
Gen
extra.
Z,
Yes.
guys,
sometimes the experience of watching a movie in a Nigerian cinema is unmatched, because the commentary behind you can add to the movie. It depends on the movie, though.
Yes, sometimes you can turn around to ask a question and then it helps you keep
Nobody
up.
wants your opinion. If I wanted your opinion,
sometimes we do.
You know,
sometimes you want those loud
so
screams
for
in
me,
the cinema. But anyway, Dimbo, let me ask you this, right? You have had best of both worlds. And at some point you did mention that mostly Nollywood movies may not be worth your while. You're a filmmaker. I mean, I saw Still Falling, and I also saw the first one. They are both, yes, they are both faith-based movies. I don't regret my going to see it though, but this is what I'm going to ask: how do we get filmmakers like yourself? Because sometimes it's just about pushing the movie in the cinema, or when you hype it a lot, they'll go and watch it, and then we're all complaining, and someone else is saying, oh, I'm still going to go and watch it even if it's that bad. Let me just have my own experience. How do you guys get to tell stories that we would enjoy going to see, besides it just being foreign movies?
I mean, it's pretty much about production value. It's pretty much about your budget. It's pretty much about a compelling story that is indigenous yet mainstream. Those are the issues that you must consider if you're going to have to put up it. So it's a Nigerian story, but then it's mainstream. That's number one, because you're going to now enjoy from both worlds. You're bringing people into the cinemas in Nigeria, and when you're done, you sell it to the streaming platforms, then it goes global. That's the thing. But then for you to attain and to achieve that, you must put in the production value. It's not cheap to get writers who can really, really write. And that's one of the problems that we have in the industry. Storytelling has become a major problem in terms of how we structure, in terms of how we tell the stories. We're always very excited about rushing to do this. And most times we're limited, to be honest, because of our budget. For example, I've always said this thing on your show, anytime I come to NTA. A producer will run away from a script that says a car went off Third Mainland Bridge.
Because...
Hold on, because there are two ways you are going to achieve that. It's either you physically buy the car, put all the structure in place to make that car flip with a stunt person to enter the water, or you have to do a CGI to get it done. Either way is money. So you see me as a producer, and it's from my pocket I'm producing this thing.
Thank you. I feel like you've answered the question.
Once I see that in my script, I'll delete it. We'll do that. I will just stop that. We'll do that one and let's move. Maybe people understand what that is. That's the problem that we're dealing with here. You know, unlike other places where the production values are heavy, the pockets are heavy, and these guys can really imagine things. They can actually say to themselves, I want this fight scene. A 1 minute fight scene can take 3 days to film. That is money. But then if you see it, it's crazy. In 1 minute, you're screaming and you're shouting. But it's a lot. So Nigerian producers are limited because we're struggling with the funds that we can't apply. Most times they come from our pockets.
Yeah.
So if the industry has to gain produce productions that are worthy of people driving from me, I live in Dawaki and I love to go to the cinema that one at the gate, that Lugbe one. So you can imagine the drive. Why? Because that cinema is clean, is neat, the sound is beautiful, the screen, I prefer that. So imagine the journey. If I will have to, imagine that I had to drive all the way
with
to
how
go
much
and watch,
fuel is now,
to go and watch
and then you
Jambu
drive all
Jambu
the
or
way.
to go and watch one movie or something there. I'll come out angry or something, and that will not help me.
But look on the bright side. You spend time with friends. You spend time with friends, unless you went alone.
Those friends, they should wait. We'll meet. We'll meet
Okay, Kachi, let me ask you, what determines, what are the things you... Of course, we all do some sort of research before. So how do you decide how you want to see a particular movie?
I would say definitely the appeal of who's in the cast. And then there's certain directors who I love. Those are the directors where you're like, even if people said the movie's bad, no, I'm going to watch this movie. Let me decide for myself. So that also really determines it. And I think a lot of the buzz leading up to the movie can really sway you one way or another. You know, so whether it's a Nollywood movie or a Hollywood movie, really the buzz determines, okay, is this something that I want to get the friends together, go out and see, or is this something that I just want to quietly wait for it to land on Netflix and enjoy it myself? But I think definitely streaming has given people access to be more invested in being a film enthusiast. Because now it's like, okay, this director, I saw one movie that I love, I'm going to go on Netflix, Amazon, wherever, look up all this person's movies and just immerse myself because now I'm a fan. And that's how, then now I'm looking forward to the next thing they're doing. Oh, I love this actress. I saw her in this thing last year. Oh, now I want to watch all her projects. There are people who hadn't
this for me says you're choosing which movie to watch. So I'm talking about choosing where and how to watch the movie. So how do you make that decision?
It really depends, honestly, on what... I love going to see dramas, action movies in the cinema.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that.
Is really
because
for this
no, definitely, because I mean, just when Black Panther came out, that excitement of people are dressing up.
Yeah.
I can just imagine how disappointing it would have been to watch Wakanda on my phone. And again, I'm sure that drives directors of those big blockbuster movies crazy. Those movies were not designed to be seen on your phone. Yeah, we do it anyway, but the experience, you're hearing about directors like the director of Oppenheimer. The movie was shot on a specific type of film, meant to be consumed a specific way. So these things heighten your experience, the sound, just everything about the way the director has. It's just, I can't imagine watching Avatar on your phone. Like, the experience is completely lost. Yes, again, but that's what I'm saying.
And then someone is telling me you have to wait for it to be on the streaming platform.
But again, to be honest with you, let me tell you one of the reasons why a lot of people had issues with watching movies on their phones.
Right.
First of all, it's not even about the size, because once you immerse yourself in a piece of
for me, it
picture,
starts from the size.
Well,
so
I know somebody who will naturally curl up in a corner with that small screen.
Yeah, I have friends
but you know
like
the thing that works for her AirPods, the sound. She gets the quality of the sound, enhances her experience. So this small thing here doesn't matter as far as she's concerned. And that is the way a lot of people are consuming these days, to be honest with you. That is why they feel like, why do I have to, when I can just lie down on my bed? I have these correct sound AirPods and I can just experience whatever is happening here. Some people might not like it. Somebody like me, like I said, you don't even come near me with that thing because it's not going to work. I want to see it live. And so I recreated that, but that's because I can afford it. And if I want to really, really immerse myself in like I said, it's really about the experience. I want to go in there and see. It's as simple as the popcorn is that crunchy. I'm not. No, seriously.
I mean, you can make the crunchy popcorn at home if you're saying.
I'm saying I can pop it at home and it's fresh. If I can go there and get that, that's part of the experience. Not the one I'm chewing and it's feeling like I'm chewing gum. No, let it be that there's a variety of drink that I can choose from. Like me, I don't drink sugar, so if I have to even try anything, it has to be like a 0 sugar Coke or a 0 sugar whatever. But you go there and they don't have it, and that's another thing. So I'm left with drinking water, which is healthy and good. But why am I drinking water in a cinema when I've come to experience this thing?
Some of us drink water in the cinema.
That's the idea.
That's not the experience he was looking for.
You said?
That's not the experience.
I want to be able to relax and enjoy.
Different experiences that we are looking for. But, okay, before I ask you a question, guys, remember that you can still send us messages to 0811-778-2020. I just married your message on the show. So tell me, which do you prefer, cinema or OTT platforms, Netflix and the likes, yeah? So, we're getting back to the conversation. So, apparently, I'm not alone in this cinema thing because according to CAN, that's Cinema Exhibitors Association of Nigeria, they did say that in June, Nigeria made about 578 million from cinemas. It did drop in July to 418, I think, as against when we usually make like 7 billion, 5 billion from cinemas alone. But here is the challenge, but that's a year, but this is a month. But here is the challenge for me. 90% of the movies that they talked about were foreign movies. So does that really help us?
I mean, that's the problem. There is no Nigerian film in the last 5 months that has
been. So it feels to me like Nigerians are ignoring the cinema and just facing those, I'm coming, just not people watching, I'm talking about filmmakers, because of the money that comes from it. Because I can tell you for a fact, I'm a living proof of that. So tell me.
I can easily tell you why people prefer the streaming platforms. My next
project... No, not watching now.
No, I mean, as a producer.
We're not...
Yeah, I know, I'm going there.
Yeah, we're not concerned about making films for the cinema anymore.
That's what I'm telling you.
You can just talk to Netflix and they have
I was going there. My first film was done for the cinema. It was deliberately shot so that it would go to the cinema.
Yeah.
From the producing to the marketing to everything, I had to pay for it. Do you understand? And by the time we're done, it went to the cinema and it made 32 million in the cinema. That's the highest grossing faith-based film in Nigeria after God Calling.
Yeah.
And by the time we came back and do the mathematics, and if I tell you how much I went home with, you will scream. I can't say it because it's one kind. But so in my head I'm thinking, but it did well in the cinema, so to say. And then the streaming platforms came, and I was offered more than 10 times what I made in the cinemas.
Wow. Say what?
Yes, I was offered more than 10 times what I made in the cinemas. I'm not talking about the 32 million now. I'm just talking about the profit that I made from that 32 million.
Okay.
I was offered that, and I took it. And then I came back home and I wait to. So this next project I'm going to do, if you want me to still go to the cinemas and still pay for publicity and pay for everything, nothing wrong with that. Those who can do it can do it. I decided, no, my next project is going to be a limited series, 5 episodes. I so that when I'm done, you can't watch limited series in the cinema now. The distributors are not even coming after me because they know that it's not something that they can put in cinema. So we have settled that conversation. So now it's the streaming platform that are looking at this deal. We'll see what you can do. Because at the end of the day, it is the money. Let's be honest, I am not making films because I'm a therapist, so I want people to be happy. No. If you are happy, that's your business. If you are sad, it's your business. I'm making money because it's my passion and I want to make money. So I am making this series so that they can buy it in the streaming platforms. And I go back home and I don't have to worry about publicity or anything. They will do it. They have the budget to do everything. I carry my money and I move on to the next project. It is what is happening to every producer in Nigeria right now. For anybody that is going to the cinema, it's simply because they feel like they can go there. But don't get me wrong. Going to the cinema also has a way of making the streamers look at you and decide. But then the risk is that if you tank,
doesn't even increase the value of your film.
The risk is that if you tank in the cinema, they offer you peanuts. If you make it in the cinema, they offer you more. So which one do you want to do? Take the risk and just go to them straight and say, give me what you can give me. And avoid spending all the extra money in doing publicity, and then you come and make 2 million in the cinema after you have spent 10 million in publicity. No, so that's the thing.
I want to know, right? I feel like, or I'm going to ask, does that sort of affect the quality of our films? Because this is why I'm asking this. I'm not saying there aren't filmmakers who make good films. I mean, you're one, right? But if it's just about the money for me now, and whatever you get, Netflix or any other Amazon Prime, they're all looking for content.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever you bring to them, as long as Nigerians like entertainment, so as long as you bring it, they're going to watch.
Yeah.
So it's no longer about the quality of the movie, the story they're telling, the content and all that. It's just about create something and put on Netflix. I mean, what do you think?
I disagree though.
Go ahead.
Because with Netflix budget, like he said, you can throw that car off Third Mainland Bridge.
Yeah.
You can
Absolutely.
give
But nobody
me,
has thrown the
can give
car
me
off
a
Third Mainland
better-
Bridge.
But I mean, maybe they're not telling
Netflix.
the story, but somebody is
Did
going
you
there.
not watch Gangs of Lagos?
No. Hold up. Hold up. Wait. Wait, hold up. With Netflix, you're saying with Netflix budget, they can throw.
Oh, absolutely.
Does the budget come before you make the movie or after?
No,
It affects so much from the
in terms
quality
the
of
decision.
screenwriters you're going to get.
For some people, it's before, and for some people, it's right after they've made the film, right? But I don't agree with you saying that with Netflix budget, you can throw the blah, blah, blah. That is if there is like an agreement with Netflix or with Amazon or with Hulu or with any other one to produce like so film. And then you give them a budget and then they give you that. But from what he's saying, like you're producing a content, like, right? You'll produce like a limited series and you take it to them. And if they like it, they put it there. So I'm saying, because that's seems like the line that most people are. Hold on.
I get where you're going to.
I feel like that's what most people are doing. Because it's just very few people like Mo or that you see having a proper agreement signed or Kemi before it gets to them.
So hold on. Let me tell you what works. If, for example, I'm able to use my personal budget to be able to put that car going off Third Mainland Bridge.
Yeah.
When I go to Netflix, they will pay for that because it is value that I've
added. But no one wants to take the risk.
I'm going there, so it is value that I put in it. If I don't put it and I go to them, they'll still pay me for the value that I've brought to them. So it's you deciding what do I want to do. I'm currently in pre-production for my series, and everything that I'm doing on that series to make sure that once I go to the table, I can cross my leg and just watch them fight over it. That's the idea. Because it's the way it helps us build, and it's the way it helps us. Like I said, we're not charity organizations. We are business entities trying to make money from this production.
And most of the production is out of pocket, right?
Absolutely, because nobody is giving you money from anywhere. There's no financial institution in this country that you can just walk to and say, oh, I have this great idea, I want to make a movie, borrow me money. Nahi, nobody will listen to you. It doesn't work that way, unless you know people, unless you're able to go through all the wahala of trying to get those. So at the end of the day, money in the game that I'm making is money that I'm making from my pocket. And I'm taxing friends and families and people to see what we can do. I'm looking for investors. And the idea is that if I'm collecting people's money and I have to pay them back in 18 months, these people that want it, they have to pay me top dollar. And for it to be top dollar, it starts from the cast, like you rightly said. People would want to tune in. I mean, Netflix just announced Sons of the Caliphate yesterday. It is mad. Everybody is all over the place, right? Because they can't wait.
That's the spin-off, right?
Yes, the spin-off. Yeah. They're mad and all over the place right now. People can't wait to watch it. If this were a cinema move, I promise you, we will have broken even in the first 3 weeks of that thing being in the cinema. I'm just saying because of the buzz and the attention that it has created. And it's simply because there's so much value that has gone into it. So bottom line is that if I am going to do it and license to, the streaming platforms, is either I pay top dollar, making the best out of it so that I'm paid well, or I go to them and I pitch and they say to me, oh, we love this idea. And like you said, we want you to take this budget and make sure that cars are flying off Third Mainland Bridge. That is how it works. Unless that happens, I won't take my money and put any car going off Third Mainland Bridge unless I know that if I go to these people, they are going to bring top dollar. It doesn't. That's the dilemma with.
So in the end, Dimbo, whether you agree or not, the money controls it. It's all about the money.
It's not just about the money.
Because that's what I'm hearing.
The value of streaming goes beyond the budget that you have access to. Stories, different types of stories are now having the opportunity to be told, to be out there from Nigerian.
But that still boils down to my question from what you said, right? Is this affecting the quality of our stories? Because I can't call names.
We're going to
I can't call names, but I could if I could, I would have mentioned some movies.
So when
it's
you
just
say
Netflix.
This, you're talking about the streaming platforms. Are they
yes, like
improving?
everybody going to the streaming platform. Is it like affecting the quality of our stories?
I can easily tell you that Femi
no,
Adebayo
not positively for me.
Femi Adebayo would never have made a Jagun Jagun if it was not going to Netflix.
Exactly.
If it was going to go to Africa Magic Yoruba, this is not what we're going to be watching.
No,
and
but
I'm just going
it could go to the cinema.
He knows that,
it could go to the cinema.
No, but even
how
going
many
to the
how many weeks will they keep it in cinema?
No, but let's do this. Let's check it. In the last 3 years, how many Yoruba epic movies have gone to the cinema and made money?
And had the mass appeal, because that's it. How many epic Yoruba
if you're
movies
talking about epic
Yoruba
movies, I think that's the reason for that. You hardly see any epic movie in the cinema, and this is because our indigenous movies are not, like, we don't place a lot of value on our indigenous movies.
But that's why we're doing now.
Hold up,
because the streaming platforms are paying more money.
Now, it's mostly just about
different than how it's
the same Ashoke. It's just that you invest in color grading, make it sharper and all that.
That is because
but no.
streaming platforms are paying top dollar for that.
It's not about paying top dollar. It's about appreciation.
Color grading is expensive.
I know, but I feel like it's also boils down appreciation from us.
Yeah.
It's not just about the streaming platforms paying top dollar, because we have just relegated, if I want to see a Yoruba movie, there's African Magic Yoruba, there's African Magic Igbo, and, whatever quality they produce is thrown there, and they have their audience, they'll watch it. So if you're talking about, there's a Yoruba movie in the cinema, someone's like, will I go and pay? So it has nothing to do with...
there's something that...
I think it's our appreciation.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
Bottom line is that...
Because I can go and see Jagun Jagun in the cinema, please.
Bottom line is that if Jagun Jagun had come to the cinema, it will end up in the 68 screens that we have in Nigeria.
Right.
And that will be it. Do you understand? It can't go beyond the 68 screens we have in Nigeria. But on the Netflix platform, do you know that I saw this same Jagun Jagun that had a voice overdub in Hindi language? So in India, they can watch it, but the voiceover is in Hindi. Yes, there is a version of that.
Don't try to.
I'm going so that's making it global. Do you understand? There is the Arabic subtitle of Jagu Jagu. So if you are in Saudi Arabia or anywhere, you can watch the movie because it has an Arabic subtitle. So it is global. So somebody like Femi Adebayo, globally now he's able to push the Yoruba narrative and the Yoruba, and which is good for us, and which is why NTA should support, because it is about selling
it's
Nigeria.
Looking like, leave it. It's looking like you're trying to pull me to the other side.
No, we have put her already. She knows it.
No,
she's not. Our producer is telling her.
I haven't said that you have won. I hear you saying thank you and you're welcome. Yeah, those are some movies that you might want to see on some of those platforms. Great movies made by Nigerians, and of course, they'll be very nice to watch if you find the time. Anyway, I did ask you to send messages, and now I'm going to take a few messages on the show. This person, no name and location, but he says, well, watching films in the cinema is quite interesting because you get the chance to communicate with people and have fun. Right? Don't say it all. Be agreeing with me.
For those who want that kind of experience.
Be agree with me, but don't just say.
The noise doesn't work for me.
Okay, so Peter says, I prefer using my phone or TV. Cinema is a waste of money. This is Nkiru from Anambra State. Well, you're on that side. It's okay. We agree. So this person says, this question is for the filmmaker in the studio. So, how do we love the cinema experience, but it's too expensive. How do we get to enjoy the cinema with our small money? Oh, yeah.
You can't enjoy with your small money. It's the economic factor that determines how much you're going to pay to go.
I mean, is there no way that they can make it cheaper?
The truth is that there's no way with the overheads that everybody is running, to run business. You would expect that I will cut down the cost just so you can come and experience it. It doesn't work.
You want me to see your work.
Yeah,
because
but at the end of the day...
we are saying this. There are still people who cannot do Netflix or can't do all those streaming platforms.
Okay, so hold on.
Still.
So, for example, if I'm going to produce a movie today, do you understand? Compared to what I probably spent last year.
It's not going to be the same.
We're talking almost triple the budget.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to do that and have you come to the cinema, you will not expect that you paid the money that you paid last week or last year, because the budget has tripled, and so I have to recoup. Like I said, we are not charity organizations; we are business entities trying to make money. So if I'm going to use more money to make a movie, and you walk in there and you are still paying 3,000 naira like you paid last year, then you're helping because at the end of the day, even the cinemas can't survive it, because there are overheads of running diesel, overheads of paying staff, overheads of maintaining all this equipment. It's a lot of money that they also need to keep up with, because if they were importing a projector last year for, let's say, 1 kobo, if the projector breaks down and they need to bring it back, or just buy the bulb or the light, whatever, or just buy a new projector, it's not going to cost them 1 kobo. So for that to happen, it's also top money that they need to get. So the truth is that if you're going to have to go to a cinema to go and watch, you have to just prepare your money, because the truth is nobody will cut half kobo for you. You have to say to yourself, if I can't afford it every other time, say to yourself, every 2 months, I will save money so I can go and watch film in the cinema.
The other way to make your experience cheaper, you don't have to buy the popcorn and drinks. The cinema actually sells the ticket by itself, you know. I know the popcorn has the expense for some people.
How do you sit through a movie without eating
if your pocket
that's
is not
even possible.
Your pocket is not accommodating
and
that.
even to help yourself, what you need to do, don't enter car. Just start walking and be singing choruses all the way, so that you trek and save money. So you get all the... No, truly, we're just saying that whether you like it or not, watching a movie in a cinema will cost you money, because it takes everything to do that. You going there, you buying the entertainment, and you going in to watch the movie and then also going back. It's going to be money. So my advice is that if you want to experience a cinema, if you have the money, spend it. I mean, life is short. Just spend the money and enjoy it. If you don't have it, save. When you have, you go, why are you saving money that you leave here tomorrow?
You say that because they're a filmmaker now. We should just carry the money and come and
bring
give
the
it.
money and
Anyway,
give us for the effort.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you, just can you relieve for me your typical movie experience?
Typical movie experience when I'm watching a movie at home or otherwise?
Wherever. Like, paint a picture for me. You might just inspire someone to stop going to the cinema.
But I don't want to inspire people to stop going to the cinema. I'm just saying, we really
so guys,
can't...
let's go to the cinema.
With the economy, we really can't afford to see every movie that we want to see in the cinema. Definitely, streaming, there's just so much for you out there. So many different genres that you won't just see in the cinema, because whether we want to believe it or not, the distribution companies are not just putting every movie, spending the big bucks to put every movie in cinema, and those smaller stories, sometimes even better, more nuanced storytelling, those are on streaming platforms.
Movies as well. Okay, so what you just said just got me to ask you this, Yadimbo. How do the cinema distributors how do they determine what movie should be in the cinema, or just if I make anything and I have the money to push it to the cinema, how is there a criteria for choosing what movie should be in the cinema?
I mean, so if I'm going to go by the books, there are 2 ways to it. In Nigeria, if we're going to go by the books, all the elements of this film has to be together. In terms of, first of all, you have a compelling story that can create an experience.
Who determines this?
I mean, the producer, of course.
No. I know the producer.
Oh, you mean in the cinema?
It may be a compelling story to me.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
No,
but when you get to
people have people who they hire to watch these films and say, this is good enough to go to the cinema, we'll make money from it. There are business development people in the cinema structure that say, because of course they don't just come, you send them a link and they watch the film, and they send you a feedback and say, this is how much you rate this film. Because they'll definitely send you a feedback. Because before they took Still Falling, they had to watch it. Sent a feedback to say, oh, we rated so it can go on the cinema. You understand? That's how it works. So for them is, first of all, will people leave their houses? This is that we're talking about. They consider it. Will people leave their houses and come and see this? It's the first thing that comes to their mind. So what makes it work? First of all, is a Funke Akindele production. Oh, Funke has fun. Everybody will come. Right. It is a comedy. People love to laugh. So in the middle of all your wahala, you want to just relieve stress, people would want to come. It has Brother Shaggy in it. That one makes you laugh anytime, any day. Do you understand? These are the elements that they put together. How long is this movie? It's 3 hours. Tell them to cut it down to 1 hour or 1 hour. So that way, so that we don't come and sit down here. But then, if it is Charlie, all these Indian films, they can't touch it. Because they don't play with their 3 hours. That is a must. You have to sit down, because that one, they know how to tell stories. But those are the things that, these people determine. Because at the end of the day, please, I'm saying this now so that I understand. The cinemas do not make money from your watching the film. Oh.
Okay.
No. That's not where they make money from the concession stand.
Right.
That's where they make their own money. Because the film is not their own. They are distributing. The distributor has his money inside. So when you come to the cinema, those popcorns that you are saying they should not buy,
they must buy it.
You have to.
Dimbo, it's okay. We've got to your message. Leave me alone. It's okay. You guys have won. It's 2-1, Abby. No problem. But I still love my cinema experience. I'm sure you guys agree. But of course, I understand that the money is determined. Always
go to
the fact that they make that much money.
Just so I make you feel good.
Yeah.
I'll go and watch cinema today. I'll go
Thank
to
you. Yeah, so I mean, I got him to go and see a movie in the cinema. Anyway, thank you, Kachi, for being on the show. Dimbo, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. And guys, thank you so much for sticking around on the Medley Show today. Whatever you decide, cinema, OTT platforms, just make sure you have a great movie experience. Until I come your way again next week, my name is Tochi. You take care. Bye-bye.